Hey, what's going on, CoinOpTV subscribers? Robert Welkin here. In this video, I want to talk about For All Mankind, Episode 9, which is called Bent Bird on the Apple TV Plus platform. This video will contain some spoilers. If you're brand new, please subscribe and leave some comments. Let me know what you think of For All Mankind. So let's get started. We find out that the Apollo 24 is having some engine trouble. Oh no, NASA is in trouble. Everybody's in trouble. So overall, I thought this episode was pretty darn good, and I'm glad I've kind of stuck with For All Mankind, because I kind of hated on the show in the beginning, but once it kind of found its footing and its tone and its pace, it's kind of becoming interesting and fun and entertaining and pretty intense, shall we say. A lot of intense, dramatic stuff happening that I wasn't really expecting the first time around. I don't think the show has anything to do with the original hook or premise that it kind of threw at us, and I almost kind of wish that they wouldn't have given us that, because then we had this kind of a mixed feeling on, what the show would be or what we should expect. They should have just said, hey, it's a fictional show about the space program based upon some real life situations, and we could have went with that, and that would have been fine, but instead, we were kind of like, well, what about this? What about that? Or at least I was, since I'm kind of reviewing these shows. Anyway, let's get to my notes here. We got a nice scene with Gordo and Danny in the bar. Gordo wants to come clean and stop lying about, being the hero, and let Danny take some of the glory. But she doesn't have any of that, because there might be some negative consequences. As long as Gordo isn't put into any high pressure situations, he'll be okay. And he is in therapy, so, maybe we'll root for Gordo and he'll be okay. There was a nice scene with Ed on the moon. He makes a little rock formation there, a little tribute to his son Shane, who passed away. Writes his name in the surface. I believe that's kind of a little bit of a callback to an early episode where he's talking about writing his name on the moon and it would never, dissipate or go away. So it's interesting to see how Karen and Ed are kind of dealing with the loss of Shane. He's isolated on the moon. She's on Earth, but feeling sort of isolated herself, surrounded with her friends and family. And she actually goes out and seeks Molly's husband a little later in the episode and reaches out to him, and he gives her a little chat or listening, and they smoke some pot, and that was kind of cool, because originally Karen was kind of judgmental of Molly's husband earlier, but now she's like, okay, you know what, I see that life is hard, and this particular way it might help me ease the pain, so I'm gonna go to that. So we'll see how that goes with Karen, and the actress playing Karen is actually kind of winning me over. She's doing a really great job. If I know the Emmy nominations were already or the Golden Globes were already put out, but maybe the Emmys will give Karen a nod or something. We'll kind of see. Also, my gal Tracy Stevens finally ended up in space. I've been rooting for her to be in a ship and going up to the moon or in space or something. She goes up to help patch up the Apollo 24, which is having some engine trouble, which I mentioned at the beginning of this. It's a shame they kind of had to relegate her to a repair mission, but it turns out, alas, that she gets to be the hero and save Molly, who ends up floating around in space. Some of the stuff I was really into, and then some of it I was like kind of jarring or confusing. It was a little hard to follow. I wish that they would have kind of edited this or laid this out a little easier to kind of follow, and actually maybe stretched out this to like a half hour with the Apollo 24 and the 25 and the engine trouble and stuff like that. But it was nice to see kind of exterior action scene. The effects looked okay, and the acting and everything, all things considering, looked okay. So that was cool. Just would have wished that again it wasn't kind of rushed through so much. I felt like this could have been like a half hour of the episode was the struggle to survive and stuff like that. Maybe it was a little longer than I'm anticipating, but it feels like it went by kind of quickly on the rescue mission there. In the middle of the episode, Ed had some contacts with the Soviets. One of them kind of passes him by, and I was kind of wondering with the creator what the story is, if they had to kind of wait to certain times of the day or hours so they didn't interfere with each other. And the one Soviet's got like the little rock hammer, and he's like, don't mess with me, I got this. And meanwhile, Ed is like about a foot taller than him and just kind of staring him down. And, Ed has got a lot of emotions going on. Isolated, son has died, U.S. versus the Soviets, the exploration on the moon, just being in a big giant suit there. He's got a lot going on. It's kind of funny to see Joel's face, the actor, kind of playing off of that. They're finally giving him some stuff to work with there. So we leave off with The Apollo 24 sort of heading to the moon, but it seems like they're off track. So we'll have to see if Deke and Harry and Ellen can pull it together. I guess that's the next episode. We'll see if they can re-navigate or something, the course correct over to the moon so they can rescue Ed, who's been isolated in there. And then of course we get the scene with Ed where the Soviet and the Russian guy kind of shows up to his station a little later in the episode, right at the end. And he's like, hey, I need some help, let me in. And we think it's because he's lacking air, he's in trouble. And Ed lets him in, the guy disrobes, and he's trapped within 2 doors, and Ed turns off the air compression or whatever and suffocates him. And it's like, wow, Ed, you just murdered somebody, dude. You killed somebody. Now it's gonna really be hard to root for you. You're now a murderer. You need to go to jail. Somehow we'll see if this is pawned off as an accident or something. I mean, it's just the space race and Star Wars and stuff like that with the Russians and the U.S. It's not like so much like we're in a world war or something like that where you just got to take them out. So that was a surprise. But I did expect something intense or serious was going to happen with Ed on the moon, especially with all the things happening. There's a lot of consequences, I guess, was kind of the theme of some of these last few Apple TV shows. This is kind of leading up to the cause and consequences there. So that was interesting. Again, I enjoyed this episode. I was entertained. I like that these stories are a little more self-contained with the characters. We did get a little of the Hispanic Philomene and that daughter, and a little bit of Marco and her stuff going back and forth. But overall, we kind of had like the main story, the main plot that we can kind of follow through, and that was cool. So I'd like to hear your opinions on For All Mankind Episode 9. Let me know in the comments below. If you guys are brand new, please hit the subscribe and check out some of my other videos for CoinOpTV. We'll see you next time.